In a world with so many choices, only one YouTube channel stands out from them all. Sean Urban. Become part of this growing community to find all your Disney news, sports talk, discover new food and drinks, and go on epic adventures across the globe. Never miss out on a family fun stream with engaging people, in-chat games, and fantastic locations to see. Don't miss out. In a world.
Hey, Francisco, what is happening? Welcome in, welcome. Hello, everybody. Nice to see everybody here. I hope everybody's doing well. We're using Streamlabs desktop tonight. Hey, Purple Queen, good evening. Welcome to our whacked out Wednesday sports stream. We are getting ready to get into it here, so appreciate y'all being here. And all right, a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the YouTube-averse. Hope everybody had a great day. I hope everybody has a good St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. I know I am taking it off from work. I'm going to go and we're going to go and celebrate. So I don't know if there'll be a Tin Can Thursday tomorrow. I could still possibly be out, but we will more than likely do something on Friday, definitely Saturday. That'll be my first review of my week on Awake on 180. So let's get into some sports, shall we? So let's there's been a lot. There has been a ton going on in football. So we will hit the football-averse probably last, just because there's a lot. So we'll run the gambit real quick. Starting with hockey, I think one of the more notable rumors that has just popped up is Ben Chariot was acquired by the Panthers from the Canadians ahead of the deadline. So that was an interesting trade. I would not have expected them to trade him, but they trade him to the Panthers, and they're going to get back Tyler Smilyanek, a first-round pick in 2023 and a fourth-round pick in 2022. So I don't know. I guess it sounds like an okay trade. I don't know if I think the Panthers gave up a lot in exchange for what's going on there, but I guess we'll see if it works out for them, because that, the first round pick next year, the fourth round pick this year, it could work out for them. Plus they get a player, so they're not left hanging. Let's see some of the other notable NHL news. I see John Croc is going over to Calgary, which is awesome. Hey, Brian K., what's happening? So he'll be playing with his cousin Lindholm, who's already over there. And I can only imagine that there will be multiple picks involved with that trade. Let's see, as I go through my stream, what else did I want to hit up here? So hockey's playing, so we are ahead of the trade deadline, which is great. And so the Panthers, it's funny, speaking of the Panthers and that that trade, they actually cleared up like $2.5 million of cap space ahead of the deadline, which is great because this is going to allow them maybe use, if they don't use all that money, pick up a little bit more. So there was, rumors of Lindholm, Chariot, Giordano going over there, and obviously they picked one of them. It's over there now. So the Blackhawks, they are, we've talked about them in the last couple of weeks. The Blackhawks are rumored to be making progress on a Kubalik trade, with Anaheim and Edmonton being the front runners there, which is interesting. I would think he'd probably go to Anaheim, but I'm more curious to see what they get in return in that trade. I can only imagine they'll get a couple of picks. Maybe, they're definitely, the Blackhawks will free up some cap space. So, they are a team that's close. So making moves, at the deadline here is not shocking. It's what moves are they making in order to put them over that hump. Let's see. So Canada's dropping their border testing requirements on April 1st, which is great because anybody traveling to Canada now with any sort of regularity it'll be easier. So, excuse me, for those guys, those teams that go and play up over the border frequently, that's going to be awesome. It's going to make it way easier for them to travel. It doesn't become so much of a hassle anymore for them to, to get on and get to getting. Hang on one second. My computer's really running warm. I'm using Streamlabs desktop. So, yeah, let's go Canada. Let's go to Canada. Let's see. 10 finalists. For the Hobie Baker have been announced. That's awesome. Very cool. And it's kind of quiet right now, but I'm assuming with the deadline looming, we're going to see some more action. Probably by next week, we'll have a lot more that's going on. Although what's really cool is that the Flyers are going to salute Guru as he departs, because he's pretty much done with the Flyers. He'll be moving on, maybe retiring. So there's not a terrible amount going on in really anything. I mean, hockey's, like I said, hockey's in the middle of the season. Basketball, they're in the middle of the season here. So they're still playing. In some interesting baseball news, so baseball's come back, right? They really didn't do much in terms of the lockout. Players and the owners got together. They worked stuff out. A lot of the ideas that we had talked about here, they're not going to implement until at least next year, if ever at all. So I think Major League Baseball really dropped the ball here when it comes to redesigning the game, making it better. People love that double headers are like 7-inning games. People love the 7-inning game. It's time to modernize this sport and revitalize it. And that is, I think, one of the key ways you're going to attract people is to lower the number of innings. But that's neither here nor there. An interesting trade here. Bryant, Schwarber, and Rizzo signed within 24 hours. So they take $293 million altogether. And when you throw in Bays, it goes up to $433, and they are all now ex-Cubs. That is extremely interesting to hear that's how much that costs. So the Rockies made an interesting move. So the Rockies had Nolan Arenado, and he had like $200 million, like $199 million or something like that left on his contract. The Rockies have just traded him away for the cost of $50 million. He had a no trade clause, so it was kind of indicated that the Rockies wanted to get away from that, and that they wouldn't be doing that going forward. Because really, having a no trade clause really kind of ties the hands of, really ties the hands of your GM. And now they go out and they sign Chris Bryant, who's a phenomenal player, by the way, for $182 million and a no trade clause. Totally makes no sense at all. So it'll be interesting to see how Dick Monfort, who's the Rockies owner, kind of explains, first of all, the monster contract they gave him, and secondly, the second no trade clause within like a year, 12, 13 months. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. A big signing for the Giants. They got Peterson, who was with the Atlanta Braves, won a World Series. So that'll shore up their bullpen a little bit out there. Let's see, scrolling on down. And MLB at this point in the year is revising a lot of schedules. They're on a deadline. Spring training has started. They revised the Dodgers schedule, and the last 6 consecutive home games are against the Rockies. I don't know what their system is thinking. They used to have people that did it. They used to have 2 people that were doing it. The 2 people got married. This couple got married, and they continued to do it until I think it was somewhere right around 2006 or 7, somewhere in there, where computers and automation took over and replaced them, and they went on to just kind of oversee what they were doing. They were basically really just like math whizzes. So I don't understand how that happens. I don't know if it's a computer glitch. It could be something as simple as they shift 1 or 2 games in one area and then it stacks these up. But that's just really odd that your last 6 home games of the regular season are against the same team. That it's very weird. It's very rare. Don't be surprised if they change that. So, Zach Greinke got into a deal with the Royals, which is great. Supposedly, it's a 1-year deal for $13 million, and there's $2 more million available, so a potential of $15 million, depending upon the number of innings that he ends up throwing, and that goes. And I'm sure that goes around. That's not citing other bonuses like for so many strikeouts and stuff like that. So let's see. Ohtani is throwing. He's throwing a bullpen session, which is great. He almost got taken out by Wong in batting practice. Wong hit a comeback to him. Let's see. And that's about all that's really sort of noteworthy right now in Major League Baseball. As far as the NBA goes, there's not too much going on. Some guys coming back off of injury. Luca Donek, he went down with an ankle injury the other night. It looks like he may be okay. Hey, Christina, welcome in. So hopefully that'll be good. He's fantastic to watch if you've never watched him play. He's one heck of a big man out there. Looking at Lopez, Hill could return. Not too noteworthy. Let's see. Brandon Ingram, mild hamstring. So Isaiah Thomas. He's now playing with the Hornets. He got a standing ovation as he checked into his first game there with them. Let's see. Interesting. The Cleveland Cavaliers have a center in Jared Allen, who has received a finger fracture. So he's going to be sidelined for a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if he can make it back before the year's over. That's a big loss for them because he is really, really good. He's the rock around the middle of that court for them guys there. Let's see. So Joe Harris is out for the Nets. He's going to be undergoing some surgery. Interesting. Bradley Beal he's going to be eligible to sign a 5-year deal with Washington. It's worth $246 million. He may actually, if he declines his option on that, I would be shocked. But there is talks that he may actually pass up all of that money to maybe get out there and see what else is going on. That would be crazy though. That's a lot of money over 5 years. I doubt he's going to get that going anywhere else. And let's see. So let's get on to fantasy football, right? So football in general, which there's a lot going on right now because now we are in the tampering period.
I'll be right back.
And so there's a lot that's gone on in the last week. There has been a ton of trades and signings. Let's see what's coming up right now. So let's work our way backwards through the week, starting right now. So the Dolphins are going to sign Raheem Mostert for a 1-year, $3.1 million deal. So there he goes. He's done. He's going to be coming over to the East Coast here. So that's probably one of the more notable moves the Dolphins have made in the last few days. So and Brian K will appreciate this, being a AFC East conference follower, is that the Jets are signing tight end Tyler Conklin, which is, first of all, I'm surprised Conklin is even entertaining the Jets. I'm shocked that anybody entertains the Jets, but I guess if you want to make money, they haven't really done too much to the Jets. That is something there, considering they added CJ Uzomah. They're stocking up finally. Doesn't mean they're going to be any good, but at least they're starting to get pieces, in place. So the Bills are not done signing people, and they've signed a bunch of people. They're supposedly signing tight end O.J. Howard from the Bucs. Supposedly. That would be incredible because they had another signing I just read about. They are signing a defensive... they signed somebody on defense from, I thought it was... They were signing somebody from Green Bay. And now the name escapes me. I read it just a little while ago that... Who was the defensive player? Now I'm trying to remember. Now I'm trying to remember. And I remember thinking, oh man, that's a great signing for them because it's going to shore up their defense, which was pretty solid anyways. And it was, let me see if I can find it here real quick. It was, Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith. And that came off of, I actually read that, believe it or not, on the Bleacher Report. Was going to the Bills. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He's going to the Ravens. Going to the Ravens. But, I mean, signing Howard's going to be great for them. It's Von Miller. Von Miller is going to the Bills. That's a great acquisition for them. Von Miller is old. He is old, but the man is smart. And they are going to do good things with him. Hey, Nicholas, what's happening? So, I found that to be interesting. But that tells you that the potential that the Bills actually have in the upcoming season. People actually want to go and play for the Bills now. You know, there was a time where, and it wasn't that long ago, where you were not coming to the AFC East unless you were playing for the Patriots. Nobody wanted anything to do with the Jets, the Dolphins, or the Bills. And it really just goes to show that the Bills are making a really good case to be the number one in the East going forward for the next couple of years. The Jacksonville Jaguars are making a ton of really, really good signings. I don't know if they're going to get all the right pieces into the places that they need them this year, but they're at least making moves, and it seems like they're going to be a little bit more competitive. Go Bills. Go Bills. You know, so for instance, they are they're getting rid of guys too. Obviously, they have to. I mean, you got the 52-man roster, but you know, so they've released the linebacker Miles Jack, who ended up signing with Pittsburgh for a pretty good payday. He's getting 2 years at $16 million. I don't think he's worth $8 million a year. He's not terrible. I don't know about 8. I was thinking probably more like 5 or 6. I think there's a little overpaying going on there. Is what it is. It'd be interesting to see if the Bills make a move for Julio Jones. You know, if you would have came at me 3-4 years ago and said, hey, somebody released Julio Jones, they didn't sign him, I would have said that they were crazy. But I would say the last 2 years, Julio Jones has proven that he is, it's not that he's bad, he still has a lot of good skills. He is struggling to stay on the football field. That is Jones's biggest problem, is that he cannot stay healthy to string enough games together to make himself relevant. He's just been hurt. What else do we got going on here? So the Raiders are expected to change Nagy over to the Colts in a deal that included Yassin, which that's interesting to me. I don't know if I would want to deal them, you know, and put them into trades, but they're so, speaking of the Raiders, they are expected, shockingly, to sign a former Patriot in Brandon Bolden, who is, he wasn't terrible when he was here. He was solid. He seems to be in the rotation, and he's kind of like the hired gun, you know, like the solid number 2. Yeah, Brian, you know what they are? They seem like they're getting players that are past their prime. But man, if anything is proven more so than not, look at Bill Belichick and the Patriots. How many guys does he pick up where they're past their prime, and he finds a way to get the most out of them and motivate them and get another season or 2 out of them before they're really just done. That really could be like the secret sauce, you know? Hey, Nicole, thanks. So, again, the Jets have signed Joe Flacco to a 1-year deal worth $3.5 million, and plus his incentives. But it's Joe Flacco. But at least he's got a couple of tight ends to throw to. You know, whether that offensive line can keep him upright, I think, is another, thing, but so Chandler Jones, another former Patriot, 4-time Pro Bowler, signing with the Raiders. So Josh McDaniels is going out there and signing with the, trying to pick up all these past guys that he knows what their skill sets are. He understands how to coach them. The Raiders are going to be either a gigantic hit or a total whiff come this next season, Let's see, the Chargers, so we were talking about Jacksonville. So the Rams cornerback Darius Williams is going to sign with them. So I'm seeing them make moves. One of the most interesting things I heard in the last 24 hours is, believe it or not, out of left field, the Falcons have come out of nowhere and they are actually talking with the Texans about Deshaun Watson. Supposedly there's an open line of communication with Matt Ryan down there still. And I'm a Matt Ryan fan. I'm a huge Matty Ryan fan. He is a solid quarterback. He's got a great arm. He makes good decisions. But if you're telling me I have to choose between Matt Ryan and Deshaun Watson, if Watson is at 100%, I'm taking him all day long. Now, there's a team that is in a quasi-rebuild situation, so will they benefit from him? I don't know. I'm not sure how much trade value Matt Ryan has at this point. I think it's going to be tough to try to trade him away. And if you can, I don't know how much you are going to really get for him. Let's see. Nope, don't care about that one. Foreman. Speaking of quarterbacks, the Giants, and I did read this yesterday, the Giants are going to sign Tyrod Taylor. But he's only going to be there as a backup behind Daniel Jones. I don't know who's worse, I'll be quite honest with you. I'm not sure. If you told me on any given Sunday that I had my choice between Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones, I may actually take Tyrod Taylor for a spell. There's just something about Daniel Jones that he just, at least for me, hasn't proven that he's ready to be that next level quarterback. I think Tyrod Taylor, he's got a lot of leg under him. He can extend plays, make things happen. But man, I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Right, exactly. It's tough to tell who's going to be worse over there. Maybe they'll go with like a 2-quarterback system, depending upon the situation, which I'm surprised a lot of the league hasn't gone to yet. So Jordan Hicks going to the agreeing to a contract with the Vikings. So, and now talk a little bit about the Patriots. So the Patriots have totally decimated their offensive line. They got rid of Ted Karras. They let him walk, which was ridiculous. And now they have just given away probably their best offensive lineman in Shaq Mason to the Bucks for a 5th-round pick. So, I would say Mason, I would say that Mason was probably their number 1 lineman, followed by Karras, and now they're both gone. So, I don't really know what's going on in Foxborough. They're making decisions up there that just aren't making any sense. So who knows what they're going to do for linemen, but they seem to be getting rid of all their good ones for like really low picks. I'm not really sure what Bill has planned. It's really, that those moves alone, never mind they didn't re-sign J.C. Jackson, who was one of, if not the best defensive back in the league for the last year. They let him just like see ya. They didn't even make a play for it. They whiffed on Amari Cooper. They missed that train, not being able to sign him. So there was talk of Ridley coming up here. He's obviously out for the year, dealing with whatever he's going to deal with. I am not sure really what the Patriots are doing. I can tell you what they're not doing, and that is they are not winning next year. I think, looking at their schedule, looking at the moves they're making here in the offseason, if they win 6 games next year, I think they'll be lucky. To be honest with you, they may actually be battling the Jets for last place in the East. I could 100% see that. Hey, Brian, what's happening? So it's so weird, Again, the Jets making some moves. Speaking of the East, they signed cornerback DJ Reed. He's got a 3-year, $33 million deal. They're at least they're trying to make a play, but it's weird. Interesting signing by the Bucs. As I go down my list, they signed former Falcons wide receiver Russell Gage. Gage is now playing with Brady. He's got Godwin down there, but they got Evans, they got Gronk. That offense is just bloated with talent. The poor Patriots. I'm sure you feel bad, Brian. I'm sure you feel terrible. The Gage signing is incredible to me. I don't know what the terms were, but boy, that's a great pickup for them, and the former Washington running back, speaking of the East, going back to the Bills, J.D. McKissick intends to sign a 2-year, $7 million deal with up to 8 with the Buffalo Bills. So it looks like they are going to start solidifying that backfield. I think you're going to see the backfield by committee over there go away. And you're going to have very defined roles coming up next year. The Bills should be one of the top teams in the NFL. Should be. Let's see what else came up as I scroll down my list. Nope, Gregory. Another wide receiver that was missed out on was DJ Chark. He got signed with the Lions, man. The Lions. Like, dude, again, Bill Belichick, what are you doing? They must have paid him buku dollars, though. To be able to go to Detroit, Detroit would be the last place I would want to sign unless they were paying me an obnoxious amount of money. Shavarius Ward's going over to the 49ers, coming out of the Chiefs. That'll be a big hole for the Chiefs to fill. But he gets a decent contract at 3 years, $40 million. You can't argue with that. So Tevin Coleman, he re-signed, but only for a year. Up to 2.3 mil with incentives and stuff. So he's going to stay in place. Defensive end, Frank Clark. And now Frank Clark is getting on. He's been around a little bit. He actually reworked his contract to stay playing in Kansas City. So he worked out a 2-year deal. So I thought that was interesting that he's still in it to win it over there. So the Steelers signed Mitch Trubisky for a 2-year deal. That's incredible to me. I'm assuming that he's going to be their starter, their number one, unless by some chance they're going to draft a quarterback, and try to make a run with a rookie. I doubt it. So you'll probably see him be the number one over there, the starter. Where is Let's see. Xavier Woods, no. Jets. Houston Giants. The Giants re-sign Ingram, which is no surprise there. They love that guy. So Jackson. Teddy Bridgewater. Quarterbacks. Teddy Bridgewater is going to sign a 1-year deal to be the backup in Miami. Teddy Bridgewater. I look at some of these signings and I look at some teams that we haven't heard much out of. Haven't heard much out of the Rams. They've given up a lot of players, but they're not signing a lot of players. The Cardinals haven't done much. Obviously, the Patriots are doing next to nothing. I don't know what exactly is happening there, but so I just mentioned the Cardinals, and it made me think that the Cardinals are actually losing people because the wide receiver Christian Kirk, who had a pretty solid year last year, is going to the Jaguars. So, like I said, the Jags are like loading up over here, man, Hey, what's going on, Pierce? What is happening? Connor to the Cardinals. They may, although I don't know, Pierce, man. They're collecting some people. They are collecting some people. It'll be interesting to see if they collect a Florida staple in Jarvis Landry, who just got released by the Browns. So Landry is available. It wouldn't shock me if he went back to Florida. He liked playing there. He liked the weather. He was on Miami for a while. That would be actually, Landry's one of those guys who he never impressed me a whole bunch. They always talked the potential was there. He would put up decent numbers. But I don't know about Landry. But I could see him, maybe going back there. Yet the Lions blew this whole process. Listen, I feel the same way about the Patriots right now. I don't know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. They're doing literally nothing, I was hoping that the Patriots would pick up on the Valdez-Scantling train, since he's not going to be playing in Pittsburgh for the Packers out in Green Bay anymore, but seems to have gone by the wayside too, so I don't know. Yeah, I could see him in LA with Beckham. I could see that, them two hooking up. Who wouldn't want to go play with Beckham, right? I mean, everybody wants to play with Beckham. I don't know if LA would pick him up. I don't quite know if Landry has the talent really that they're looking for. He's really, Landry should be a number one, but he's really more like a number two. Let's see, Miami Dolphins and Edmonds agreed to a 2-year deal. Vikings are signing Kirk Cousins to a 1 year. Obviously, we know Tom Brady's coming back to play. That's been all over the news for the last 3 or 4 days here. As soon as he announced his retirement, there was chatter, at least around here, there was chatter of, how long is he going to stay retired? He can't stay away. He's got too much left in the tank still. He looks so good, blah, blah, blah. And here we are, 2 months later. He was on the TV. He was on the radio. They had a snippet of him saying, well, he was in an interview. Well, I've spent 5 weeks with my family now, and that was good to do. And, we got to see what happens. We're like, dude, 5 weeks and you're ready to go? So, it appears that Gallup is going to re-sign with the Cowboys. Ertz is signing a 3-year deal. They're going to finalize with the Cardinals. Amari Cooper went to the Browns, obviously. I was hoping he was coming to the Patriots, but that obviously not happening. Crosby, Zerline. Oh, it was interesting to see the Bears. So I did read this the other day. They're releasing Cohen with an injury designation. So he kind of bowed that injury like all last year, a little bit the year before it was starting. Be interesting to see if he's able to make it back into the league. The injury's never been disclosed. So yeah. So that's been about the last week or so. What's been going on here in the NFL? Ooh. Let's see. There we go. So it'll make for an interesting league this year to see what happens, because there are so many teams that you would not expect to be making moves that are making moves, that are picking up all these guys, and then other teams you thought would go and get some of these guys are just they're not doing it. So not really sure what's happening there. So tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. I have a St. Patty's Day celebration I'll be going to, and then on Saturday I am super excited. I will be giving the live update of my first week on the Awaken 180 diet and getting in some exercise and stuff, and it'll be interesting to see what my weigh-in brings. So don't forget to join me for that. I'll be posting the YouTube link in the next day or two here. And yeah, what a great night. It's awesome. So that's it. It's a short night tonight. The co-host will hopefully be returning soon. She was busy. So without further ado, I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope you've all hit that thumbs up. If you're rewatching this, hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to see all of you in here on Saturday. I'm super excited to be giving you the update on my new diet and exercise regimen and journey, and to kind of go over what I've thought of the Awaken 180 diet program so far. I've been eating nothing but their food, so I'm going to kind of give the rundown of what I liked, what I didn't like, what the worst, what the best was, and tell you what I've been doing for some exercise and let y'all know where I'm at. But thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate y'all. Quick night tonight. I will be back doing an impromptu stream. Probably not tomorrow, although if I'm home early enough, maybe if I'm home early enough from my Irish pub and my Irish music. Hey, Taint. So we will catch up with you all very soon, and watch for the link on Saturday.